live in a world of mixed messages. It doesn't take much for us to realize that. We can just open our social media, any app, doesn't matter which one it is, and you hear two different things. One day you're hearing, or even 1 minute, you're hearing, slow down, relax, things will work itself out. And then in the next minute you're hearing, gosh, you gotta go for it, do it. And it's like, which one do you do? Well, I'm a natural person who likes to go for it. I feel like when you see in the cartoons where like the angel's on one side of your shoulder going, I think you should wait, and then the devil's on the other side going, do it, do it. Yeah, so I feel like I'm the one who has the encourager on my shoulder all the time saying, you should just go for it. And overall, that's served me very well in life. It served me well personally and in business, but it's not without some learnings along the way. And I want to tell you about one today in my personal life that really helped me realize that the truth of that message, that mixed message, is somewhere in the middle. So I was about 28 years old, living in Chicago, single, meaning that I had a boyfriend, but I was not married. And my boyfriend was an officer in the military, so off defending our country all the time. And I was in Chicago and a huge fan of the Oprah Winfrey Show. A big, big perk of living in Chicago. Right? A big perk of living in Chicago was actually having her studio in our backyard. So this is when we taped things, okay? This is before TiVo and all the other things. So on my VCR every day, I taped Oprah and I would watch it after work. And at the end of one show, there was a message that said, we are looking for women who have been in a long-term relationship for more than 2 years. If this is you, call this number. And I was like, that's me, I'm in, let's do it. So I called the number, and somebody actually answered. And they were like, next Wednesday, we are having a show for women who have been in long-term relationships. Would you like to be a guest? And they interviewed me on the phone right then, and I was like, absolutely, I want to be a guest. I would love to do that. And so my sister came, my best friend flew in from Florida to Chicago just because I got to bring 2 guests with me. And I'm in the green room. There really is a green room. With other people who already also passed that little interview. And we're all a little unsure of exactly what this is going to be. So we go out and we're in the first row, right? You all know Oprah has the yellow couch and she has her guest up there. And then we were right in the beginning because we were going to go up and talk. And be interviewed. So she introduces her guest. It's an author who had a new book. His name is Greg Behrendt, and some of you may have heard of this book. It's called He's Just Not That Into You. Yeah, advice for women on how to better understand men. That was what we got ourselves into. Yeah. So you could see the panic among my new friends here in the first row. We're all looking at each other going, this cannot be real right now. And it was. I actually had Oprah look at me personally and say, Mindy, tell me about your story. And I said, I've been dating a man for a few years. I think we have a great relationship. And Greg, the author, stopped right then and said, Mindy, he's just not that into you. If he was into you, he would have proposed by now. That is his way of saying you're not the long-term girl for him, okay? And I was like, there's so much more to my story. He's in Iraq right now. It's not like he can actually propose at this moment. There's so much more to my story. But they didn't ask the rest of the questions. And to be honest, I didn't either. I jumped into that situation jumped in without asking questions. And we all did the same thing because it looked so good. I wanted to be on the Oprah show. Who would not want to be on the Oprah show, right? Well, I was on it. It made national news. It was a broadcast all over the country. I had people I hadn't talked to in 20 years calling me and going, was that you on the Oprah show? It was, yes. Are you okay? Which is what everyone asks. Are you okay? And so the lesson that I learned from that is when you have the two voices going on in your head at one time to ask questions. Now I have about 30 seconds to wrap this up and tell you how this story ended. I couldn't actually tell my boyfriend that I was on the Oprah show because he was serving in Iraq at the time, so he got to hear it from his friends' wives telling them that he calls me, and he's like, yeah, so what was that about? He wasn't the happiest guy in the world, but thankfully, I married the guy, and he is amazing at asking questions first. Thank you.